When you're first starting out with competitive programming, it can be overwhelming. It doesn't have to be. Let's walk through it together, step by step. Roll intro. Today we are looking at the problem on OpenCaddis titled R2. Basically, this guy Marco decides to get his friend 2 numbers for his birthday. Really, Marco? You couldn't have gone with a gift card? Anyways, not only does he somehow plan to give his friend 2 numbers, he calculates their average and then loses one of the 2 original numbers. Half of his friend's present. So the premise of the problem is that part of Marco's friend's gift is called R2. The average of R2 and another number is S, and Marco loses R2 but still has the other variables. And you can read the problem for yourself, pause here if you don't quite understand, or check out the problem online via the link in the description. Moving on, given R1 and the average S, we need to solve for R2. Let's do what Marco apparently couldn't. Let's find R2. Remember this? This is the average formula. Thank you, Google. So this basically explains the formula that they gave us. The sum of 2 numbers divided by the number of numbers equals its average. From here, let's solve the problem by hand. Mouse. So the original equation they gave us is the answer S equals R1 plus R2 divided by 2. Multiply both sides of the equation by 2 to get 2S equals R1 plus R2. Subtract R1 from both sides to get S times 2 minus R1 equals R2. They gave us 2 sample input-output pairs, so I'll run that through this formula by hand to verify that this is indeed the correct solution. So this solution does check out. But before I get caught up in figuring out how to translate this equation to Python 3, I need to code something to accept the input. To do this, I'm going to make 2 variables to accept the 2 inputs that they gave us, R1 and S. The input function takes the input as a string, the string split method splits a string into a list, and then I want to cast both elements of the list into integers, so that I can do mathy things with them. While there are a couple ways to do this, I'm going to use the map function, like so. Now I'm going to test this out quick. The program executes, so we have successfully accepted the inputs and proceeded to do absolutely nothing with them. Why? Honestly, I need to start somewhere, and having code that does nothing gets me one step closer to having code that does something. By the way, all the functions and methods I use here are linked down below. If you get caught up on any bit of code, you can always read about it using its corresponding link in the description. Now that I have something that executes, I can add the formula we derived earlier. Here, I'm going to make R2 to store R1 and S using arithmetic operators. The last part of the code is to print R2 using the print function. Let's see if the code works. If we input the sample inputs they give us, the code's output should, surprise, match what they give us. And it does. Another problem solved. To think. All of this could have been avoided had Mirko just gotten his friend a gift card for his birthday. What do you think the time complexity of the solution is? Comment your answer down below. In the next video, I'm talking about quality adjusted life year. Did you like this video? Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified every time I upload a new OpenCaddis solution. Thanks for watching. See you next time.